The views and opinions expressed by the show hosts are their own and do not reflect those of WSTU Radio or the Little Dog Media Group. Any reproduction, rebroadcast, or reuse of this program without the written permission of WSTU is strictly prohibited. Welcome to Crown Car Care, serving Martin County since 2006 with trusted, high-quality repairs you can count on. And now, your host, Todd Harris.
Hello, good afternoon. It's September 10th, 2025. I'm a bit sad. Moments before I drove into the radio station, world headquarters, you've heard me talk about it in the past, I happened to see some breaking news that all of our friend Charlie Kirk was shot and died. What a tragedy. He was in his early 30s. He was a family man, had 2 kids. In fact, wrote a book that I read. It's the MAGA Doctrine a couple of years ago. Good read. Simple. He connected with the youth. He connected with young voters, and now he's gone because of one simple, ridiculous, disgusting action by one individual. I don't know. Maybe a moment of silence for him. That makes me cry sometimes when I think about things like this. When so many good people in the world do good, yet there's always the other side that hates so much that words enough and explanation enough aren't their defense. It's actions, violence, and shootings is their solutions. Can you imagine even trying to convert to their belief system? I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. It's not part of my world, never will be, nor Crown Car Cares, nor anyone I know in my world. We're not violent people. Humans aren't meant to be violent. It's the weirdos in the world that are, and we certainly don't want to subscribe to their thinkings. So we'll leave it at that. And welcome to the Crown Car Care Show. We have a great show in store. We're going to talk about 2 bits of automotive news. We're going to talk about the difference between a diesel and a gasoline engine. Many people kind of know the difference, but they don't really know. And we'll try to clear up some of the misconceptions. We'll talk about a new scan tool. We'll talk anytime during our show if anyone wants to call in. Now, our phone number here at the station, world headquarters, is area code 772-22788. That's 220-9788. Call us. We love those I remember stories, taking us back in the time machine, that Wayback Machine, taking us back to the 70s, the 60s, maybe even sometimes the 50s. Call us up and give us your best car story. I have another one I'll tell today. Another one that took place on New Year's Day during a snowstorm. And we'll talk about a tech training platform that I'm working on in a leadership class I'm taking, and how it'll affect our business and how it'll be beneficial to our customers. And we'll leave it at that. Automotive news. Genesis is a manufacturer owned by Hyundai. Now, Hyundai owns Kia as well. They bought Kia quite a few years back. Now, Genesis is a premium brand. Their interiors are similar. Some people relate them to Bentleys. A lot of times they have quilted leather seats. A lot of the colors that Bentley uses in their cars, they mimic. They walk the walk. They talk the talk. They're quality vehicles. Many of the vehicles, Genesis have double glass windows. We've ever talked about this. One of the secrets of keeping your car really, really quiet on the inside is in the hands of the manufacturer before you buy it. It's the glass. And what they'll do is it'll be a double laminated piece of glass on all the windows. And boy, does it quiet it down. And you can usually tell if you roll your window down just a little bit, you can see where that ridge is in the middle where they've laminated the 2 together. You can always tell. And you can tell when they're quiet on the inside. Genesis do use double glass. Well, they're coming out with a new model. It's called the Grand Equator. And they are going to compete with the G-Wagon. It's a high-end, minimalistic off-road vehicle that probably will never see the dirt in its life, like G-Wagons. G-Wagons are a interesting vehicle. Before they redesigned it several years ago, they were very boxy. Very simple, utilitarian on the inside, full of subtle luxury, but they were expensive. And we all know what happens when things are expensive and there's not a lot of them. They become luxury items. And that's what is said of the Grand Equator or Equator. It will look similar to a G-Wagon, but it'll have a modern take on it with Hyundai. Now, Hyundai has a fabulous design studio that they're famous for. For a lot of their good-looking cars come out of California. Southern California is where their designs are originated from. So look that up if you're interested. The next bit of news, Ford Motor Company and Chevrolet are in the horsepower wars, and they're in the wars like it was in the 60s of who can have the fastest, most track-ready vehicle. Ford, about a year and a half ago, came up and released a car called the GTD. Now, the car originated from racing. Its derivative is from the Mustang. They work with a company in Canada, just over the lake, where they're situated, in Detroit, with a company called Multimatic. Multimatic is the brains behind the Ford GT, which is a modern take on the GT40. GT, they still make that. You can still buy it. Over $1 million. Multimatic. Now, Multimatic does work with other companies. They work with Mercedes and other things. They are a high-tech company that works with the manufacturers mainly with handling and overall active suspension, active aero. Well, they've done this with the GTD. They started around $350,000 and go up from there. They're on a limited run. If you go on YouTube and type in GTD, Ford GTD, you will see many, many videos on these things. They're awesome. Even if you don't like fast cars, just looking at the technology that they've done to create the GTD will perk your interest. Now, Chevrolet, of course, couldn't be undone with that. So they've come up with their Chevrolet Corvette ZR1, which, with the over-list pricing that's going on currently with the ZR1, and I'll tell you what that car is north of $100,000 and almost $200,000 and up. Bit cheaper, more of a production car. They're not limiting the number made. It is a twin-turbo, flat-plane crank, V8 engine, mid-engine. The GTD is your traditional muscle car front engine, but the transaxle, which is a ZF, which is a German company, uses a dual clutch. If you have questions about dual clutch, call us up and I'll answer it. 220-9788. And you know who sponsors this show? Let me give you the phone numbers for that place. They put me up to this every week. Crown Car Care is this proud sponsor of this radio show, and we have two locations. We have a location off Martin Highway in Palm City, and we have a location in Stuart, which is Martin County, Florida, off Cove Road. The Cove Road phone number is 772-283-4707. I'll say that again quickly, 283-4707. If you want to make an appointment, say hi, come in and see our fish tank, go to Cove Road. If you want to go to Palm City location, both great places, both great service. Phone number there is 772-781-8000. That's a bit easier to remember, 781-8000. It kind of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Well, give us a call. If you like what I'm saying on the air, if you like how I talk, you'll love our business. It's the same. We're upfront. We only know what truth is. We chase information about vehicles. We keep up to date. We smile. We say thank you. We fix your car like we say we are, and we don't try to sell you or do anything that you don't need. If you need anything, we'll make recommendations on your oil changes. We certainly won't pressure you. It's not who we are. It's not who I am, and it's not how I was created. And with that said, please give us a try. Try us for an oil change. You won't regret it. We're a bit more expensive than other places, a bit, but you get quality service, and we really look at your cars. And if you've been listening to me over the past few weeks, we've talked about what's required in an oil change and why you need skilled professionals and why it's not just important to get dollar value with your oil change. What's more important, that you get service value, because it's your car that's the beneficiary. The wallet benefits you if it's cheaper, but does it do good for your car? I will say no. Service value is what we give, and that benefits your vehicle, which in the long term creates less money spent. So it's all about choice. We're going to be coming up on a break here in about 4 minutes, I think. So I'm going to move right into the next part of my show. Every week, I write all this stuff down in a little notebook and we go through everything here. So Chevrolet has the ZR1, the GTD, limited production on the GTD, the Chevy ZR1. You can buy them. They're hard to find. Both totally different sports cars. One is a radical, crazy muscle car that has modern touches, whereas the Chevrolet Corvette is more of a Ferrari type or high supercar type vehicle. Totally different. In fact, there's a new YouTube video out. If you type in a ZR1 versus GTD, it's a brand new video, just came out yesterday. Wonderful video, and you could see the flavor of the differences that the manufacturers have made as a choice to the direction their Halo car. I don't know if we've ever mentioned that before, have we? Halo car. That's a representation of what that business is about. And it really does say a lot. And I will say, if you handed me the keys of either one, I'd take them both. But if one was for the keeping, it would be the GTD. And if we were to revisit it in 15 years, the GTD would be worth a lot more money than what it was worth today. Limited edition, it's like Shelby's. I have a Shelby GT350. They go up in value. And that's the nice thing. Okay. Getting ready to take a break here, and we're going to start into the difference between diesels and gas. Now, before we go to break, I will say this. We know the fuels are different. But did you know it comes from the same product? Oil. Now, how do you think that turns into diesel? How do you think it turns into gas? It's called cracking. They crack the fuel. They shoot it up into the air in these giant towers. And the specific gravity and the mass of the different types of fuels that come off of that land, and that's where it's then gathered, purified, filtered, and obviously chemicals and other things are added to it. But that's how they do it. They shoot it up in the air at high temperature. Crude oil. There's more diesel created than gasoline from a gallon or a barrel of oil. Why is it that diesel is more expensive than gas, though? I don't know. That is a pondering that I've never figured out. Oh, we have a phone call. We're going to take a break.
Well, I think what we'll do is we're going to take the phone call after the break, and I think we'll come back in about a minute.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
Yeah, take the phone call.
Let's do that. Right after the break, we'll come back with the phone call.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, let's do that.
You're listening to Crown Car Care with Todd Harris. Got a question or comment? Give us a call now at 220-9788. We'll be right back. Building long-term relationships through expert auto care with integrity, reliability, and a true dedication to keeping drivers safe on the road. This is Crown Car Care. And here's your host, Todd Harris.
Hello, back again, and we have an active caller, and let's see what he has to say.
Bob is with us. Bob, are you there?
I'm afraid so.
Well, fabulous. Welcome aboard on the Crown Car Care show. So cool that you called.
Thanks, John. Yeah. Well, you're talking ZR1 and GTD and all that stuff. And I don't know. I think that ZR1 with all that horsepower, about the only place to use that is on the drag strip. So
I agree.
that's where
it's
I'm
a bit
taking
too
mine
much.
when I get it.
Oh, you're getting a ZR1?
I want one. I've been wanting one for over a year, and then they announced that ZR1X, and I'd rather have that. I prefer it, but
If
you
want
can't get either one.
If you want to
so.
see a great video, just yesterday, it's the first time I've seen a comparison between Ford's GTD and the ZR1. And it's just wonderful. And what's interesting, there really is no like quote unquote winner. It's just two different styles of cars. And they, boy, the ZR1 though, that twin turbo, that thing it's just a monster.
Well, yeah, that's one reason I want to get it is that it'll make a nice addition to my other GM turbocharged car collection.
What other
'Cause
GM cars you got?
Yeah, I got an '87 Grand National,
Oh, you do?
and the other is an '89 Pontiac Turbo Trans Am pace car, which has the Grand National engine in
That's
it.
a holy grail car, and so is the other one.
Well, I don't know.
Those are nice cars. That Grand National, when they came out, what a screamer! It blew everybody away, and it was a V6.
Well, yeah, I'm an engineer, so I was just fascinated with working on it, modifying it, putting different things in it.
Yes.
But so like I said, a turbocharged ZR1 would just be perfect to add to that.
Yeah,
That'd be
well, it
great.
would be a big leap too. It would fall outside the what is it, regression to the mean. If we did a distribution of horsepower in cars, that would be an outlier, wouldn't it?
Well, I guess so. I don't know. Like I say, mine are modified, so
Yes.
it's a big jump from 600, but
Yes.
it's these other cars aren't exactly slow.
When I was in college, I worked at in the summers at a full service gas station, Shell,
Yeah.
and in that era is when the Grand National came out, and I can remember them coming in, and I had friends that spent every nickel they had to get one, and they would put slicks on it, and they would buy a super chip plug-in chip in the back, because at that time you didn't have OBD2, you only had OBD1, which is onboard diagnostics. It's just a standard protocol that the government puts upon the manufacturers. You had to add on a chip to make any kind of increased fuel pulse width, or the timing to be advanced, or the wastegate to open less. And boy, what a difference that thing made. It was fast as any.
Yeah.
These things.
My Grand National, well, not the Grand National, the Turbo Trans Am, I put one of those Mega Squirt systems in there, so
yeah, really?
totally
Wow.
adjustable, because when you're running all that extra modification, the much bigger turbo, intercooler, ported heads and roller cam and all that jazz.
You have to be able to make
alcohol,
changes.
methanol injection.
Yes. And
you can't use the whole stock computer.
No, and what's really good about Motec is another brand that people use.
Yeah.
Is the decision making in real time in terms of updates, whether it's anything that's an output on the motor or needs to be controlled, can be done quicker and faster. So
yes,
and that is like, I think people underplay that. It's to that whole idea and concept. Making quick decisions gives you better performance.
Sure. And you don't have to be dirty to go fast either. You keep it within the air fuel ratio.
That's right.
It does pretty good for fuel economy, and
absolutely.
That's one thing.
Yes.
You should if you haven't seen it, look at the Motor Trend article that was done by an engineer. He was an emissions engineer, and he said that the combined emissions of hydrocarbons and carbon dioxide, NOx, that all combined is only 0.07 grams per mile, on the EPA testing, 2025 testing.
Yes.
So it's pretty darn clean, for a 1,064 horsepower engine.
Well, stay tuned. If you're going to listen to the rest of my show, I'm going to talk about two things: difference between gas and diesel, and you'll like what I say on that portion. Well, I'll let it out of the bag now. GM and Ford right now have test mules out in Detroit on deleted diesels that they're going to be selling. I'll repeat that. And they get less, and there's less emissions than the nonsense that's on them now.
Wow.
And that's fact. That's fact. I mean, I heard it. I was at TK's Garage, which is a famous YouTube channel on information and news for the automotive industry, reported on it just the other day. He only reports facts. He's quite smart and just a gentleman. And I find that very interesting. And one of the statements he made was, it's what I believe too: the less fuel you use per mile, likely there's going to be, unless there's some strange circumstance, less pollutants that come out. And the point he was saying is that a deleted diesel truck, even with, say, a 2022, is going to get better mileage per gallon than one that has all this emission hokey pokey on there, which to me is, I don't believe in it. I think it's all.
Well,
It's
yeah.
the environment is critical, but let's
Mhm.
not make up things to steer things our way to create economic activity and control mechanisms over the populace. I don't believe in that.
Yeah, you got that right.
You see what I'm saying? Look, if the
Yep.
sky is falling, we need to prop it up. But don't
Yep.
tell me that the sky is falling when it's not.
Well, a good test for this climate change stuff, it's a very simple test. 30 years ago, they said that Manhattan and Miami would flood because of melting
You
glaciers.
just read my words in my head. Yeah, the raising water.
Hasn't happened yet, and I haven't seen any big flood sales going on in Manhattan for real estate.
If you
So-
fill up a glass with ice and fill
Yeah.
it with water, when the ice
Yes.
melts, it's still at the same level. It never
There you
overflows
go.
the glass. But then, don't you remember
Yeah.
acid rain? We had acid rain in the late 70s, and then we had the hoax on the running out of oil thing. Well, I got news for you.
Yeah.
The earth that we live
Yeah.
in generates oil.
Oh, we got lots. Yeah.
We got so
Yeah.
much oil that we don't even think about it.
Yep, it's happy days, actually.
Oh, yeah.
We're in good shape.
I think somebody said drill, baby, drill. I think I'm ready for that.
Yeah, you got that.
Thanks, Bob, for calling, and we'll get back to
All
the
right.
rest of the show, and you have a great evening.
Okay, take care.
Yeah, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Oh, we got a great caller. Yeah. He's called before. He called that one time, I think.
Mhm.
I remember his voice.
Yeah.
And I didn't know he had a Grand National.
And he's an engineer.
And he's an engineer. He's my kind of guy. I like
Right?
him. Yeah. So the breaking, one of the tidbits I was going to throw in there is both Ford and GM are testing a DPF and DEF deleted truck for resale because you've heard me talk about it. The EPA, the engagement finding, and the Chevron doctrine are both things of the past. So we are, except for today is a dark day for me. Charlie Kirk was a good man. Did you know there wasn't a bad thing about that guy? And he was always about the facts, and it wasn't about how you look or what you look like. It was about the belief systems. And boy, did he change the world and help Donald Trump become the president, I would argue, or the MAGA movement in general, which I like all political affiliations, and I like reading about everything. If I had to say a slant, I'm more about freedom, but really I'm about everything. As long as it has to do with cars. I had to pause that.
Yeah, you had to do that.
I had to do that.
Mhm,
Of course.
I got a question for you
Yes.
because the rumors that are going out, are they true or not true about the Dodge Charger coming out with that six-pack, the 6-cylinder turbo?
Okay, so I'll tell you. You want to know the rumors? That's reality.
Mhm.
The EV that they make is now a great paperweight or an anchor for a boat. They're not making them anymore.
See that, and they're still talking about it because they're still advertising them.
Those things can't go 10 miles without bricking. Honestly, they're just, it was a horrible execution.
Yeah.
Again, if the sky is falling, it better be real.
Right?
And don't push this whole Green New Deal if it's too early to push, or we can't push it with what technology we have today.
Yeah.
Or the infrastructure or recharging systems
Mhm.
that can legitimately handle what, for example, Newsom out in California was trying to do. He's been shut down completely. So it's interesting, but they have a straight six. It's twin turbo.
Right.
Now, that's going to be in it. They're also putting a Hemi back in everything. You
Yeah,
can get a
that's-
Hemi now in a Gladiator. And then there's going to be a monster Hemi that's like even bigger, 426 Hemi they're going to be putting in some of these vehicles. Let me tell you, it's changing. We're going back to horsepower wars.
Right. And you see, the Charger looks great. The new design looks great. But me, I like the Challenger. You know,
But you know what I'm
it's
thinking
gone.
about? When you talk about that six pack, can you
Yeah.
imagine having a six pack in a Yugo?
Oh, you still want that Yugo?
Well, the sport edition, of course, and then you put the motor in there with handle on rails.
you want that?
Now, the stripes.
Are you really going to get one?
Oh, you never know. If I keep talking about something long
I know.
enough,
You probably aren't going to get one.
yeah,
And then we got to see pictures. We got to post them.
of course. Well, it would be the sports edition with the stripes. That was the package.
I want to see
$60 right for the
Oh,
additional stripes, but
I
boy, it
think-
made it everything.
I think that's what the car's worth now.
Like
$60.
It's like Herbie the Love Bug had stripes on it, didn't it?
Yeah, but I think the Yugo right now is only worth $60.
Oh, the engine will cost me more than that.
I don't know.
Think it'll be fast? The engine will weigh more than the car. How about
Oh,
that? They're also putting out different versions of the Hemi.
Yeah.
So, and they just hired back their new ex-CEO, Tim Kanakis, and he is a muscle car guy at heart. And what a delight to have him.
So we got a text from somebody. I'm not going to mention his name.
Yeah.
He says, "Hey Ray, the only six pack you've got is in the refrigerator."
Oh, well, that's true.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where they used that word and why they used it. You
Oh,
know
yeah.
that, right?
Sure.
Yeah, it was. And then they had a pistol grip shifter in some of those.
Oh, I
Dodges.
remember that.
And it looked just
Oh,
like
yeah.
a Smith and Wesson pistol grip
It
on there.
did.
It was real wood, I believe.
Yeah, back in the Chargers, back in the
Pistol
60s.
grip.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, if you got a Challenger and it's got the pistol grip,
Yeah.
whoa, you got all the girls.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm telling you.
You know, Mark Warman on Graveyard Cars, man, he
I'm
shows.
very familiar with him.
Yeah, he shows the Chargers, the Challengers with the pistol grip and the Cudas.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were cool.
He took a car that was, it was pretty much their Halo car.
Their first car.
Yeah, that orange one that
Orange
was all
Cuda.
destroyed. Yeah, and they brought
Yeah.
it back to life. And then there was another one they recently
Incredible.
did that caught on fire, and it was like 101. It was worth several million. They brought
Oof.
that back.
That's something.
He has magic in it, but I like his sidekick. That I can't think of his name. It's Buddy.
Oh,
He's
Dave?
got two buddies: the tall guy with the white hair, and then he's got
Yeah.
the other guy that kind of looks maybe Hawaiian or something.
Well, he's got Dave and he's got Scott, Will Scott, the painter.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Do you think that their fights are real or is it contrived with Will Scott?
It's television.
That's what I think. Well, this is
That's what I
radio.
think. Yeah. Well, he's had Will working for him for a long time, you know. And what's incredible about Mark Warman is that right down to the numbers of everything on the paper on the vehicle, he can tell you what it stands for.
Yeah, but have you ever seen him
know.
do his antics?
Oh, he's crazy.
When he forces people to watch movies and he hides cameras and
mhm.
he does all kinds of bait and switch.
And he starts singing.
Oh,
And
yeah. He's
he's
quite smart. He's
yeah.
very knowledgeable.
very knowledgeable man.
Let's move into the next thing.
Yeah,
let's
let's
talk
do
about
it.
scan tools.
That's cool.
Okay, so this is a new scan tool. The company is
Mhm.
Think Car. Let me hold this up.
Yeah.
Brand.
So when you turn that on, I'm going to bring it right up to the camera.
Okay, that's it. Let me
No,
turn it on.
wait a
right
minute.
Now, let me tell you the best feature about this scan tool. Updates are free. I'll repeat that. Updates are free on this scan tool. I have more scan tools, or Crown Car Care does in its arsenal, than I could give you a list of. Many, many, many. Most of them require a subscription to keep your tool current. Now, this one is a new company. It's out of England. High quality. It's got aluminum frame on this thing. It's a real nice build. It feels good in the hands and animated. The screens are good. And there's a little monkey on there. Look, everyone see that? It's just quite nice.
Bring that up to the camera.
Yeah, here, grab that.
Real quick.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, because you can pick it up.
Yep.
On YouTube,
Yes.
see what it looks like right there. Yeah, it's a really cool tool.
And let me tell you what you can do with this. You can do programmable module installations. You can do some modifications on parameters. You can do many, many side functions. Like on a diesel, you can do regens on all the manufacturers. You can do recordings. You can do evaporative emissions active tests. Basically, it is a factory scan tool for all the manufacturers, put forth in one that has all the manufacturers. Updates are free. What a great tool. The connection, you heard me talk when we had our caller about OBD1 and OBD2. It should have perked people's interest. OBD2 is based off of the original GM OBD1 connector. And that's what this little guy plugs into, if you want to hold that up.
Yeah, that's right.
And that plugs
right under
into-
the dash.
It has to be within 12 inches of center line.
Ah, okay.
That's the law. That's the connector. I like this tool. I always have a favorite tool that I carry around with me to both my shops because I'm always helping my guys and gals. And this tool is dynamite. It's the best tool I got. And I have factory tools. I have Ford IDS, GM scan tools. I mean, for the actual factory. Now, you have to use the actual factory when you program updates for software that the manufacturer has come up with. That's different. I'm about the only guy around that does that, by the way. I don't know of any shop in this town or neighboring towns that actually programs like the dealers do. Software updates. I do it.
Yeah. I wanted to bring something up too as you're
Yes,
talking and we're
please.
showing things that you can go to YouTube and just bring up Crown.
Yeah, bring up
Car
Crown
Care.
Car Care YouTube, and we are showing things up to the camera so you can get a visual on it.
Yeah, put today's date up there.
Put today's date, Crown Car Care, and then WSTU, those
There you go.
3 words, and you will get right to us.
Right.
So I can't make any bad moves. I can't wear any bad clothes, and I have to always smile, and I got to look good.
You see?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
put my cologne on before I got in, just
Well,
so I
that's
smell
right.
good too. But that's for the people in the radio station world headquarters. Don't want to smell bad.
That's right. There you go.
And there you have it. So that's my new scan tool. Let's talk about an I Remember. I told you I would hit all these bases. I want to get all my things accomplished each show. Many times I lead people on and we end up not doing it because I end up talking. I just can't stop thinking about Charlie Kirk and how awful it is. His family, his kids.
Yeah, 2 kids. It's very sad.
Okay, I remember. It was New Year's Day. I had my first car that I bought, and I never really talked about my first car and how I bought it, but it was a 73 Mustang Mach 1. Paid for it with my own money. It was a 4-speed, 351 Cobra Jet motor. In relative terms, in those era, it was fast. It was in the late 70s, early 80s, late 70s. I bought it. Earned the money myself. I saw the car at a gas station when I would take the school bus home in high school. And I wanted that car so bad. And I actually got to buy that car. I got to buy the car that I dreamed of as a boy, looking at on the school bus. That's amazing. And I bought it. Except New Year's Day, I was a friend of mine, Gary Sullivan, who's no longer with us, died of brain cancer. One of my best friends. I used to go visit him. Moved out to California. I used to always go visit him in the summer. And it was 2 weeks with Gary. He taught me everything about life. Stuff other than cars. I taught him about cars, and he taught me about everything else in life. He was from England. English accent, had long hair. His father worked for Capitol Records. His father knew the Beatles, knew all the bands in England, the British invasion. I introduced Gary to mini bikes, cars, but he taught me things about how to ask girls out on dates and how to do all that stuff that I wasn't real good at. He was a star of the soccer team at Libertyville High School. Number 1. Defense, offense, scored all the points. He was that good. He could dribble the ball around up in the air just using his feet, his head. Quite a good guy. Any case, New Year's Day, I had my car, my 73 Mustang Mach 1, and it was a blizzard. Remember, when it's your only car, even though it's the one you always wanted and dreamed of, in the wintertime, you still got to drive it because you don't have 2 cars. I paid for my insurance myself, too, State Farm. Bought the car myself. Everything I did it my way with my money. That's why I learned how to do so many things. Because when you're paying for it, you don't have a lot. You have to think of creative ways to make things happen. When I was driving my car up the street, and the drive shaft broke. It was a New Year's Day. I don't know where I was. I may have been going to work. That I can't remember. But I remember my car is on the side of the road with like 3 feet of snow, and the drive shaft literally snapped and broke off at the U-joint in the back. But you know what I did? I went out with my zip-up snowmobile outfit, my boots and my gloves, and I removed that drive shaft. And I fixed it within a day. So it was New Year's Day after. And I went back out. Snow's still there, still freezing cold, below 0 at night. And my mom and dad said I was out there for hours. They were worried sick because I only weighed about 90 pounds. I was thin, still am. But I never got cold. I never felt the cold when I was doing that work. I was so determined to get that drive shaft in. And I did. I got it fixed. The U-joint literally broke. I don't know why. Someone must have been horsing around with it. It was a 4-speed top loader. Had a lot of power and torque. I wouldn't have done that, I don't think. Maybe I did. but maybe. Any case, I got that car fixed, and I never had done one before. At the time, I worked part-time at a gas station, full service, but I wasn't really what you would call a knowledgeable mechanic. I only knew what I broke and tried to fix. That was my experience. Whatever broke in my life, I became good at. And that was where I was at life when I was 16 years old. I was only 16 years old. 16. And saved for that car for about 3 years before I was 16. That made me 13. I started saving my money. And I never dreamed I'd get that car, that I would just look out the window. I can remember it was near the Presbyterian Church. There was a mobile gas station. And we would drop off people along that road. I think it was Church Street. And we would take a left out onto Milwaukee Avenue, or take a right on Milwaukee Avenue. When we took the right, there was a mobile gas station right there, Jerry's Mobile. And apparently the guy that worked there, it was his car. And I would see that Mach 1 every day because he worked there full time. And we'd take that right turn off of Church Street going on to Milwaukee and Libertyville, Illinois, Lake County, Illinois. And I would see that car and dream of it. And it just pushed me further to save. And I couldn't believe. I put an ad. Back in the 70s, the only way you could buy things is by seeing in the ad or placing an ad that you wanted something. I put an ad that I wanted a 1973 Mustang Mach 1. It was in the Advertiser, which they used to have these little newspapers that were nothing but ads and buying and selling things. That was the way you did things. Kind of like a bulletin board when computer days first came out, or we do a radio show here. We do on Saturday. Don't we do a show that you buy and sell?
Yeah, we do the swap shop.
I
host that.
Yeah. If you ever want to call us up here at the station, it's 220-9788. And I believe that's the same number for the swap shop.
Well, actually, it's a little different, but
It is.
but the swap shop is heard here. But that number's a little different.
Yeah. So I saved the money and got the car. Drive shaft broke. And that was only one of many adventures. There's more. I'll have to tell you the story about the vending machine at my work. It's a good one. Maybe we'll do that next week, the vending machine caper. In any case, where are we at on time? Are we getting close?
Well, we've got about 6 minutes or so, and
Oh,
then we'll
good.
take
Let's-
another break.
Yeah, we've got
Well,
all
we've
kinds
got
of
all
time. See,
kinds
I'm
of
hitting all
time.
my little notes here.
Yeah, we've got a lot
New
of time.
cancel. Oh, tech training platform is the last thing I wanted. No, diesel difference between diesel and gas.
No, we got to do that.
Let's do it real quick. Okay, we know the fuel's different. One of them runs off of heat of compression. You know when you rub your hands together when you're cold, it creates warmth, friction.
Mhm.
Well, when you take air and squeeze it real tight, one of the consequences due to physics and science is that temperature gets hot. It gets hot enough to self-ignite the fuel air combined. It does. That's how a diesel works. Now, they have to have glow plugs on cold weather, and that's just like a spark plug. Same thing. And that's how it combusts. Gasoline combusts, has to have compression, of course. Both do, which is taking a large amount of air and putting it into a small container area. Except there's a spark plug or electricity that ignites that fuel air combination, just like the diesel air combination is ignited by the heat of compression. Right. Now, a diesel engine has no vacuum. What do you mean that has no vacuum? A gasoline motor, because of a throttle plate, which is the butterflies on a carburetor in the old days, or the throttle body you may have heard on the new days, the old and new, like new days, old days, and happy days, which was with Henry Winkler.
Yeah.
And Pinky Tuscadero.
Oh, yeah.
Pinky.
Remember Pinky Tuscadero?
She would be in
Mhm.
demolition derbies, if I'm not
Oh, yeah.
mistaken. Demolition derbies. Okay. So vacuum is created when something wants to go somewhere and it's restricted. Think of a straw. If you go to Wendy's and buy a Frosty, 9 times out of 10, they're so thick you can't suck on it. It won't go up the straw. But have you ever noticed what happens to the straw when you're trying to suck the stuff up, but the stuff doesn't come up? Does the walls of the straw collapse if they're weak? Yes. Pay attention to this. That's vacuum. Vacuum is negative pressure. You're going to have negative pressure if there's something sucking a closed capacity area. And the byproduct, of course, is vacuum. And that's what happens on a gas motor. It operates things like in the old days, it would operate wipers or door locks. It operates vacuum servos for your air conditioning system to put it on blend door or up top. Now, today, in the new days, you have electric. But gasoline motors have vacuum. Diesels don't. All diesels use a vacuum pump. Many gasoline motors of today use a vacuum pump too, because many things on gasoline and diesels on the new days of cars and trucks need high amounts of vacuum, and it can't vary. Now, remember, on a gasoline motor, depending on whether it's at idle or wide open throttle, you have vacuum or you have no vacuum. A boat has no vacuum either if it's gasoline, because it's always under a load. What do you mean, Todd? When it's under a load, there's no vacuum. It's just science, Todd. That's all it is. So I don't understand why gasoline is cheaper than diesel. It might be just because they make more of it. Economies of scale. Diesels, if you remember, for the most part, on par, same engine size, will get better fuel mileage. They output more energy. So if you output more energy, you're going to be more efficient. Everyone remember the days when Volkswagen cheated on their emissions testing and they weren't allowed to sell diesels anymore in the United States on the car basis? That's why. Oh, yeah. They cheated. Their engineers cheated the emissions to get them certified to sell in the United States. And I believe they were like rabbits or some derivative thereof. But they make a good car, and it was a good engine. They should have never cheated. Any case, gasoline and diesel, as we move forward in time, are merging to one. Yeah. We are using such lean burn technology, and outside of what we call stoichiometry, which is 14.7 parts air to 1 part fuel, we're going way past that to the point where we can control a gasoline motor with strictly injector pulse. Modern diesels, Ray, are controlled through the fuel injector. There is no cable. There's no butterfly valve. There's nothing. It's strictly fuel. Soon we will have gasoline that way. And we're getting there. More efficient. Idle speed on a gasoline car, 9 times out of 10, even if it's brand new, is controlled from an idle air control solenoid. You have a throttle plate, etc. Not a diesel. Diesel is strictly the amount of fuel the injector squirts out, keeps the idle speed the way it is. Hard to understand. I, for many years, denied it existed. It was hard for me to visualize and grasp. I can do it now, and I will tell you, if it's difficult for you, you may take a while. But a diesel motor has no engine vacuum. It is a gigantic air-sucking machine. That's all it is, and we got to take a break.
Yep, we're going to take a break. But if you want to give us a call, please do. 220-9788. It's the Crown Car Show. We will be back in about a minute.
You're listening to Crown Car Care with Todd Harris. Got a question or comment? Give us a call now at 220-9788. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Crown Car Care, providing trusted high-quality auto repair services since 2006. Here again is your host and owner, Todd Harris.
We've covered everything we were going to talk about, Ray. And it's just enough time for you to tell us an I Remember story.
Oh, you had to put me on the spot, huh?
Of course.
Okay. I remember a car that my dad bought from the Nut House in on Long Island in New York, a 1962 Ford Fairlane 500. The guy was in the what they called the Nut House, selling it. No, he wasn't a patient. He's happened to work there. My dad had to go out there and buy that car, and that car. Now you can tell me what the problem is, okay? When he bought the car, every time you would come out of the driveway and you wanted to put it in drive, it would stall when you
Okay.
change gears.
Probably in the transmission.
Oh yeah, definitely in the transmission. Because every time my mom would take it out of the car, take it out of the driveway, and we're gonna go to school, she wants to put it in drive, it'd stall.
Yeah.
You got to go put it in neutral, back in park to start it up again to go.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So there's an I remember story, and going back in the 1970s.
That's a long,
Yeah.
It's in the tranny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they got rid of that car and they got a 63 Impala, which was pretty cool.
Did you learn to drive on that?
Yeah. I was 16, learned to drive on a 63 Chevrolet Impala, not a super sport. It just had a 283 small block 8 in it, but the steering wheel was huge.
Yeah. You know why many steering wheels are big, right? If you didn't have power steering, it was leverage.
Yeah, but it had power.
It did have power steering.
Yeah.
But for example, like big over-the-road trucks,
Mm-hmm.
many of them in the Wayback Machine didn't have power steering.
Right.
Okay. How do you turn a wheel in the cab to make the front wheels turn?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have power steering, then it's all about muscle and strength.
Right. Big arms.
Yeah. Or bigger wheels.
That's too.
Because the further, here's physics for you people, it's called leverage.
Mm-hmm.
The further you are away from the rotating center of something that is doing work, you get leverage the greater the distance. That's why if you have to move a rock, you get a big old pole. You've seen it in cartoons and movies,
Sure.
and you leverage it. You
Oh,
wedge it
yeah.
up against it. But if it was real short, you don't have any leverage and you're not going to move the rock.
Mm-hmm.
If it's real long, take about 2 of you and you can move that rock wherever you want.
No, there you go. Those cars were kind of sloppy handling. If you were going straight, it's kind of a smooth driver.
Yes.
But when you make turns, they were a little sloppy.
Here's something that I will say is a misrepresentation.
Okay.
Okay, we talk about the cars in the 50s,
Right.
the 60s as
Mhm.
simpler, cruder, and not like what you're saying. They didn't handle that good.
Right.
But I got news for you. We had the technology. There
Yeah.
was cars over in Europe and other parts of the world that were like refined pieces of machinery, right? Stutza Hispania, the Duesenberg,
Oh, what a nice car.
but they were I can't buy something that I can afford that delivers more than the price I pay for it. You can get a little bit of value extra. That's what we call that service value that is added extra. We do it at Crown Car Care. We do it in my repairs, but you can't take leaps where, let's just say your car you bought's $1,000 and you're getting $4,000 worth of car. Well, that can't happen because the price of the cost of building it's going to be more than the sell price. But you can go a little bit further, and that's what a lot of car companies do, right? Oh, you got to get an AMC Javelin, man. That thing's got the Pierre Cardin interior. It did, by the way, in
Okay.
the 70s.
Okay.
Yeah. Pierre Cardin interior. I saw one at my shop.
That's funny.
My shop over here at Cove Road. Here's a way back story. 20 years ago when I opened it,
Mhm.
there was a pseudo junkyard next door and a bunch of these old cars. There was an old red, white, and blue Javelin with the red, white, and blue with the puffy sunliner, a headliner, had a headliner that was all wavy and puffy like you'd seen a speedboat.
Yep.
But it was a car, and it was the Pierre Cardin limited edition AMC Javelin made in Kenosha, Wisconsin. It was there. I saw it.
Man, I
Is
thought
that
it
what
was
rusted
cooler was the Gremlin with the Levi's interior.
That's cool. I have a
Yeah.
green Gremlin at my shop right now.
Do you really? My brother had a 74 Gremlin.
There's a 75 at my shop. It's not lime green. It's real bright Kelly green.
Oh, you like green?
It's mint.
It's
And
sort of.
and
I
I
see
get-
what you did there.
I bought the owner a little icon. It's a cast or machined Gremlin, and he wired it onto his grill of his car. because the Gremlin. If you ever want to look up something funny looking, look up the logo of the Gremlin for AMC. It's this guy
Right.
standing like this.
Yeah.
It's just
It's
funny.
weird looking.
And then there was the Pacer, which was similar to it. The same customer has a Pacer. I put a motor in that.
They called that a greenhouse.
The fishbowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, AMC Pacer, same motor, straight six, 4.2,
Yeah.
and they also had, I think, a 3.8.
The AMC Spirit wasn't too bad looking. Actually,
No, that's a 4-wheel. He has one of those too in 4-wheel drive.
They made them look better than the
They jacked up. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I know.
Yeah. the
Yes.
ground.
Yeah, so that's a cool car. AMC's
Mhm.
one of my favorite cars is next to, of course, Mustangs are always in my heart.
Oh yeah.
Is the AMC AMX?
Oh yeah. The 2-seater Javelin.
That's it's X stand for experimental,
Nice.
and it had no back seat, and you can get leather, real leather seats,
They were nice looking.
fast,
Yeah.
light, little. There was a girl in high school that I had a crush on that had an AMC
An AMX.
AMX.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in high school, those cars were around.
Oh, they were nice cars. Yeah.
Yeah. There was always that car at Jerry's Mobile that I looked at and I got. It was a dream come true. And I can say, every one of you that's listening, if there's anything in life that you want that's reasonable for you to get, that's not a crazy dream or a crazy exception, if you put your mind to it and think about it over the course of time, there's something that happens, and I don't know how to explain it, but it seems that those things and ideas that you so desire find their way to you naturally. I will say it's worked for me my entire life. My business, my whatever success I've had in life has always worked out that way. Yes, hard work will get you there. In addition to a burning desire to have something that you so want. And I will tell you, it's worked charms in my life. I've gotten many bikes and motorcycles and other things I thought my parents would never allow me to have. But I received them because I so wanted it with a burning desire, and over the course of time and some input from me, it came true. And every one of you that's listening, you can do the same thing even in 2025, I promise you. And if you want any more details on it, on how to do it, call me at my shop and set a time up and I'll talk with you about it. But it is real. And you will get what you so desire, a burning desire, that is, if you go in it with the right intentions. Enough said. I think our show's just about over, isn't it?
Oh, we've got just about a minute left,
No.
if you
Let's
will.
talk about Charlie Kirk again, because it makes me, it just sickens me. He had a $1 million smile. He always supported the people around him. He would be lambasted continually by people, and he always kept a spirit. God bless Charlie Kirk and his family.
You've been hearing Crown Car Care with Todd Harris. We're more than mechanics, we're family, serving Martin County since 2006 with trusted high-quality repairs you can count on. We'll talk again next Wednesday.
WSTU Stewart.